Not every record in the Guinness Book of World Records might make sense, but they sure are impressive. For Fox 12, Ashley Stromier has a look at some of the most extraordinary people and animals snatching some pretty amazing titles.
The Guinness Book of World Records is now revealing its lineup of 2022 record holders, proving just how fun, diverse, and unique the world truly is. From the most back somersault burpees to the tallest non-competitive bodybuilder, no title is off limits or too crazy.
Let's go. Come on.
Zion Clark's speed landed him a coveted spot in the book. Clark, who wasn't born with legs, nabbed the title for fastest 20-meter walk on his hands. And for him, it's a dream come true.
To be a Guinness World Record title holder, to me that means that, one, I'm an elite, I'm one of the top dogs, but at the same time it also means that my family's winning, my town's winning, and my support group's winning, because without them, I wouldn't be here doing this for you guys.
Letitia Kai, on the other hand, uses her long locks as a jump rope, helping her become the record holder for most skips over a person's own hair in 30 seconds. But humans aren't the only ones stealing the show.
My name is Paige. My dog Lou has the world record for the world's longest ears.
At more than 13 inches, Lou the puppy has the world's longest ears, while Lollipop and Sashimi are showing off their athletic skills, taking the record for fastest 5 meters on a scooter by a dog and cat. This is just a small preview of the more than 40,000 records on file in this latest publication. Ashley Stromier, Fox News.
That's going to do it for us here on the 4 o'clock news on Fox 12 and the Fox 12 streaming app. Let's pass it over to Pete and Bonnie now for the 5 o'clock news.
All right, Wayne, sounds good. Thanks so much. And your look at what's going on in both news and weather is coming right up in the next 12 minutes on 12.
The 5 o'clock news starts now. Right now at 5, tracking gun violence. Just how many gun crimes local prosecutors are taking to court as we see more shootings on city streets.
Plus, called in to help. The work that some Oregon National Guard members are doing inside local hospitals to help with the pandemic.
Reaching the peak, the encouraging news from the Oregon Health Authority in the latest surge of COVID-19 cases.
But first, going remote. How parents are feeling now that they once again have to send their children to school online instead of inside a classroom. That and your forecast all ahead in the next 12 on 12.
Good evening and welcome to the 5 o'clock news. I'm Pete Ferryman.
And I'm Bonnie Silkman. Thanks for joining us. And we start with breaking news in Northeast Portland tonight. We start with that news in Portland where police say a kid and an adult were both shot and they were taken to the hospital.
Now let's turn now to Fox 12's Drew Marine, who joins us live from the scene with the latest. Drew?
Yeah, we know those two victims are expected to survive after the shooting on Northeast 82nd Avenue near Sandy Boulevard. Police say the shooting happened just after 2:20 this afternoon, and a car was hit by bullets, too. I'm going to step out of the way so you can look at that. We spoke with the car's owner, who says he heard something outside but didn't realize it was a shooting. Now his car has a bullet hole and his windows are shattered. Northeast 82nd was closed between Failing and Sandy, but it has since reopened to traffic. Live in Northeast Portland, Drew Marine, Fox 12 Oregon.
All right, Drew, thank you very much. New at 5, a home in Beaverton has a lot of damage from a fire. Crews are on the scene now along Tuckerwood Court near the Fano Creek Trail. They say no one was inside. We're told the fire is mostly out and an investigator is headed there now.
Also new at 5, a grand jury has found a Tigard police officer justified in a deadly shooting. On January 6th, Tigard police responded to a domestic violence report at an apartment, and 26-year-old Jacob McDuff locked himself in his truck. They say he refused to surrender and had a knife. Officer Gabriel Maldonado opened fire, killing McDuff, and the Oregon Department of Justice convened a grand jury that decided today not to press charges against that officer. Tigard Police will now hold its own review, which is standard procedure. At least 2 schools have returned to remote learning because of COVID-19 exposures. This after both have been back to in-person learning for less than a month.
Fox 12's Bridget Chavez joins us now live with reaction from parents. And Bridget, this is not what really anyone wants to see. The question becomes, how long will it last?
Yeah, exactly. This isn't what anyone wants to see, especially with the school year just starting. Reynolds High School in Troutdale and John Wetton Elementary School in Gladstone are expected to return, though, on September 27th. But we are hearing a lot of frustration from parents because, like I said, the school year just started and already they're taking steps backwards. 2 empty schools and an empty playground. Both Reynolds High School and John Wetton Elementary School will revert back to online learning because of COVID-19 exposures.
We had an incident yesterday, a large COVID exposure, where we had a staff member that tested positive for COVID. He reported symptoms in the middle of the school day and was tested. And so at that time,
Leslie Robinette with the Gladstone School District tells me that teacher interacts with about 175 students during the day, so that's why the district is taking this step.
Because the person was within 6 feet of students, and because adults carry a heavier viral load than children do, the health department thought it was prudent to just take this step.
Joanna Howell has 6 kids who attend John Wetton Elementary School, and while her family is disappointed, she says she gets it.
Well, they look out the window at the school, during the quarantine, and they are upset, really upset. I would rather the school be shut down so we can just try to nip it in the bud.
At Reynolds High, a large number of students with possible exposures to the virus prompted the temporary closure.
So while the outbreak wasn't a lot, what was happening is we had to quarantine a lot of students. And that made it really difficult for our teachers to conduct in-person learning and then remote learning.
Annika Eatman's daughter is a freshman. She says she's disappointed and blames those who are not vaccinated.
I'm sad. My daughter's a freshman, and I feel like these are some super important years, right? In middle school, she missed more than half of it.
Both schools are expected to return to in-person learning on September 27th. We've also learned that the principal at Gladstone High School is asking teachers there to be flexible because some students there may have younger siblings who attend the elementary school and may need to stay home to take care of them while their parents might be at work. Reporting live in North Portland, Bridget Chavez, Fox 12 Oregon.
All right, Bridget, thank you. Tonight, some hopeful news in Oregon's fight against COVID-19. The state epidemiologist says daily cases and hospitalizations are slowly coming down from recent record highs.
That's right. Fox 12's Audrey Wheel joins us now live with that update, as well as what we could expect to see in the coming weeks and months. Audrey?
Right. Well, Dr. Dean Seidlinger said today that the COVID-19 situation seems to have stabilized after peaking earlier this month, and he expects cases and hospitalizations to decline in the coming weeks. By just how much, we don't know yet, and still going into fall and winter, hospital capacity is a concern. While we're not out of the woods yet, according to the Oregon Health Authority, our latest COVID-19 surge seems to be coming down from its peak.
These are positive trends, but we need to keep up the pressure against the virus. We know from our experience in this pandemic that a slippage in our resolve can quickly erase these hard-won gains.
The latest weekly report shows the number of new COVID-19 hospitalizations fell 42%, the first drop in 9 weeks, with cases and deaths falling too. State epidemiologist Dr. Dean Seidlinger says still the overwhelming majority of people getting very sick and dying are unvaccinated.
Every morning I sit with the new data from the day before. Sometimes I cry. Sometimes I get angry because much of the disease we're seeing now is preventable, and I wonder, what could I have done to reach even one more person to get vaccinated and take steps to protect themselves?
There are some concerns going into fall and winter. We didn't see a lot of people getting sick with the flu last year, and Dr. Seidlinger says with people going out and interacting more now, it could come back even stronger this year. Plus, hospitals are already strained to a point that's not sustainable longer term. In national headlines, Idaho is having to ration health care because of its COVID situation. Dr. Seidlinger says we're not at that point, but we know there's already been impacts to elective surgeries and routine care here.
If the next surge of COVID or COVID and influenza is higher than this, that is going to strain our systems again. And we could wind up in a situation where we're doing even more rationing of care, similar to what our neighbors in Idaho are doing. We don't want to be there.
Now, on the vaccination front, Dr. Seidlinger says when a vaccine is approved for kids under 12, that will be significant and could give us the momentum we need to really get control of this virus. And he expects booster shots to be available in the coming weeks, first for Pfizer, and likely those people who were initially eligible for the vaccine the first time around will be able to get those boosters first this time around. Reporting live in Northwest Portland, Audrey Wheel, Fox 12 Oregon.
All right, Audrey, thank you. Across Oregon tonight, nearly 1,100 people are hospitalized with COVID-19. Earlier today, we talked with a member of the Oregon National Guard who's been working in a local hospital dealing with the surge of COVID-19 patients.
It was just last month that Governor Kate Brown deployed hundreds of guardsmen and women for this mission. Fox 12's Marilyn Deutsch reports.
The Oregon National Guard and Air National Guard have helped out in so many different ways during this pandemic. And now, some of them are working at local hospitals. If you enter Providence St. Vincent Medical Center, the first person you might see could be dressed in camouflage, a member of the National Guard.
Basically, we're the greeters of the hospital, but we're also enforcing the rules.
With the spread of COVID and the newer surge of the Delta variant, St. Vincent has put in extra safety protocols.
They've reduced visitor policies. It's pretty strict, but it's to protect everybody in the hospital.
Sergeant Sarah Wassam leads this team monitoring the hospital entrances and exits. The Guard relieving staff from non-clinical roles so they can concentrate on the sick and dying. It may not be the toughest job this 18-year veteran of the Air National Guard has done, but it's one of the most rewarding.
We get a lot of thanks from both the employees and the visitors and patients. I probably haven't been thanked so much in my career.
And she says she's grateful to the folks at St. V's. From the top to the bottom, she says she's never seen so much resilience. In what sometimes might seem a losing battle, she says they do not give up. It's a lesson in dedication and perseverance.
Even though these folks have been through so much and they're working an incredible amount of hours and just everything they're having to see and go through, they are still positive. And you can tell there's still just so much compassion and love that these caregivers want to give to the patients. You know, I would get tired after a year and a half of working day in and day out in this environment.
I asked Sergeant Wassam, yes, her name does rhyme with awesome, what her big takeaway is from this pandemic experience.
We've been through a lot as a community, as a group, but it's really important to be kind because kindness goes a long ways. You know, a smile, a thank you, a hug, just, you know, appreciation for somebody rather than maybe like a snarky attitude.
The plan right now is for the Guardsmen and women to deploy at local hospitals until the end of the month. Marilyn Deutsch, Fox 12 Oregon.
The Multnomah County District Attorney's Office is responding to the increase of gun violence in Portland. Today, the office announced a firearms data dashboard is now live on its website. The dashboard allows anyone to see all of the gun crimes that have been prosecuted by the DA's office over the last 3 years. It is searchable as well for date, location, race, and gender. According to the dashboard, in 2019, 51 cases were prosecuted. That number jumped to 152 last year. And so far this year, the DA's office has prosecuted 285 gun-related cases.
Alrighty, I think it's that time where we talk about what's going on outside.
Yeah, maybe that's the time when we soak it in before it goes away.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Definitely.
Good call. Drew Reeves joining us now. Hey, Drew.
Hey, yeah, it was a really, really nice day out there today. Temperature 78 degrees from our skyline camera. We've seen plenty of sunshine today, but you can see we are starting to see these clouds pushing in. We're going to continue to see that. We'll be seeing a mostly cloudy evening by later tonight. Down in Dayton from our Stoller Family Estate camera, 77 degrees there, and also kind of starting to see some of those high clouds moving in before we get a mostly cloudy evening tonight. So we'll see see temperatures starting to cool down into the 60s. We'll be into the 60s for most of the evening. It is going to be a warmer night. Temperatures only cooling down into kind of the mid-50s for those overnight lows. Winds will stay light as well. So as we go into tomorrow morning, expect it to be a cloudy start to the day, but a little bit warmer than what we saw this morning. And then as we go through the day tomorrow, those clouds stick around, and then we get some wet weather on the way. I'll have more on that coming up in a few minutes.
All right, Drew, thank you. That does wrap up a 12-minute look at your top stories right here on Fox 12.
And there's still much more to come, including the return of a popular golf tournament. We're live at the Portland Classic with how fans are feeling, finally being able to watch this again in person.
Crews are preparing to destroy yet another murder hornet nest. Why they're going to have to wait a week before getting rid of the nest.
Yeah?
Can you hear him okay? Just start reading your intro.
Oh, okay. It is a perfect day for golf here at the Cambia Portland Classic. Not only are we at a new venue, we're also celebrating the 50th anniversary of the event. So we talked to fans to get their take on the day's events.
So let's move over here. So 50 is right behind you.
Fans are able to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the tournament. So we talked to them to get their take on the day's events. Cambia Portland Classic runs through Sunday, and we'll be here with live coverage throughout the week.
Well, officials will have to wait a little longer to destroy the third nest of Asian giant hornets. Today, the Washington State Department of Agriculture said that they're working on a plan to eradicate the nest at the end of next week. They say the entrance to the nest is around 20 feet above the ground, up in a tree, so they're waiting on special equipment for that. And this is the third nest of murder hornets found in that same area, Whatcom County. That's near the Canadian border. The hornet is an invasive species, and they can kill honeybee colonies in just a matter of hours.
The Cambia Portland Classic starts today with top players from all over the globe taking part. Golf fans are sure to see some great play on the greens. In addition, the tournament has reached a milestone this year.
Yeah, pretty great day for it, too, weather-wise. Fox 12's Ayo Elise joins us now live from the event to tell us much more. Hey there.
Hey there, and yes, it is a perfect day for golf here at the Portland Cambia Classic, and fans have so much to look forward to. Not only are we at a gorgeous new venue, but the tournament is celebrating its 50th anniversary. So we talked to fans to get their take on the day's events.
It's a beautiful day. It's great to be out with other people, and obviously great precautions being taken, but it's exciting.
After 2 years of being away, fans are happy to see golf live and in person at the Cambia Portland Classic.
Having spectators back out watching sports, especially watching the best women professionals in the world, it's really exciting to be opened back up.
With the return, the tournament is taking place at a new venue. the Oregon Golf Club.
Looks great. We're actually members of the golf course, so it looks way different. I've been to this tournament, I think twice, but at Columbia and Edgewater before. So I'm looking forward to seeing how we do it at our club.
This is my first pro tournament ever, so I'm really excited. I'm excited to see the women play. I mean, I've watched them on TV, but I've never seen them live.
And in its 50th year, celebrating women's golf is something that Rick is proud of.
I remember attending this event as a young boy. My mother brought me here and my sister to help inspire my sister to see that women could do professional things too.
And that sentiment isn't lost on the fans attending the tournament.
I think Portland's done a phenomenal job to maintain the women's LPGA golf tournament and hang on to it for this long. It's a great deal.
In addition to enjoying the game, the tournament makes sure to give back to Portland.
We believe that there's some issues in Portland that we can help with and help provide. Obviously, we can't solve those issues, but if we could do something to help the Portland community and let help in its comeback just through our donations to charity, we'd love to do that.
Certainly, and the Portland Cambia Classic will be running through Sunday and we'll have live coverage throughout the week.
Yeah,
Awesome.
just off to a great start. And,
Really, yeah.
And, get out there and enjoy it. Right?
Yeah. Enjoy it while we all can.
Yeah. And then get the rain gear ready. Let's check in with Drew Reeves now for a look at that forecast.
Yeah, it really was a perfect day today. Tomorrow will be a nice day as well, but it's late tomorrow night that we'll start to see that change. But we're seeing clouds push in along the coast, 65 degrees right now in Seaside from our Shiloh Inn camp, but you can still kind of see that filtered sunshine through there. We're going to see more clouds making their way into, but we're still at 78 degrees. So a warm day out there from our Riverview Community Bank river camera. Just a really nice day to enjoy. Temperatures for the most part here in the valleys just into those upper 70s, the coast into the 60s, and then a cooler day into eastern Oregon. Temperatures only into the 60s there. Tonight we will be a little bit warmer than the overnight lows that we saw last night. 55 degrees for that overnight low tonight. It is going to be cloudy west, but east of the Cascades, skies staying clear and temperatures much cooler there. 39 degrees in La Grande, 31 in Burns, and 28 degrees in Baker City. So tonight, we'll see those clouds making their way in. You can see most of the areas getting some of those clouds, and then as we start tomorrow morning, they stick around. We'll just start to see some showers popping up along the northern Oregon coast, southwest Washington coast early tomorrow morning. Then they make their way inland just a little bit more as we go into the afternoon and kind of early evening. You can see tomorrow around 6 o'clock or so, most of the coast is getting quite a few of those showers, but they have not quite made their way into Portland yet. Maybe just a couple of showers kind of starting to pop up around Portland. But then as we get late into tomorrow night and into Saturday morning, we are really going to see a lot more wet weather, some really heavy precipitation at times. And as we go through the weekend, we're going to continue to see showers on and off for both Saturday and Sunday. And at times we could be seeing some isolated thunderstorms there as well. And you can see Sunday morning looking to be a pretty wet start to that morning there. Then we'll start to dry out a little bit as we head into kind of overnight into Monday. But by tomorrow morning, we could start to see a little bit of accumulation into Astoria and Kelso, and then picking up more along the coast, especially into Tillamook. And then as we go overnight Friday into Saturday morning, that's where we'll start to see those accumulations here in the Portland area. By Saturday morning, kind of late morning, we could be getting close to an inch of precipitation, over an inch in Salem. And then by the time we get into Sunday evening, over an inch and a half here in the Portland metro area is possible. Along the coast, over 2 inches in some spots. So we'll also see cooler temperatures as that wet weather arrives. We'll only be into the mid to lower 60s for Saturday and Sunday. And then again, we do dry out as we get into Monday. Those clouds looking to stick around, though, will just start to warm up slightly on Monday. And then Tuesday, the last official day of summer, is looking gorgeous. 79 degrees and sunshine, and then we'll cool down as we get into the official start of fall.
All right. Thanks, Drew. Coming up on the 5 o'clock news, the family of a Florida woman is pleading for help finding her.
A look at some of the new video from police captured right before she disappeared on a trip with her fiancé.
And a top U.S. general is facing pressure to resign. Why a new book is leading people to say it's time for him to go after his interactions with former President Trump.
Was that YouTube video you were talking about?
No. I just gotta do this cold open here really quick. Let me see if I find it really quick. Thank you. All right, here we go. 6 o'clock cold. 30 seconds to 6. Teed up for a Rose City tradition, we take you to the Portland Cambia Classic on day 1 of the golf tournament's 50th year. Back to school at home. We're tracking the response in 2 local districts as COVID cases force some students to return to distance learning. A turning point in Oregon's latest surge. Tonight, Oregon health leaders have a new outlook on what the pandemic could bring in the coming weeks and months. That's first at 6. Thank you. Fencing is once again surrounding the U.S. Capitol ahead of a rally in support of those who stormed the building in January. This as a top general faces calls to resign for a phone call he made just days after the attack. For Fox 12, Lauren Blanchard has the latest.
Fencing now up around the Capitol, protecting against a repeat of January 6th. This Saturday, there's a planned rally to protest the incarceration of insurrectionists. It comes as the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Mark Milley, is being protected by the White House, State Department, and Pentagon from calls for his resignation.
I have confidence in General Milley.
An upcoming book reveals during the last administration, General Milley made calls to the Chinese before the election and just days after the January 6th attack at the Capitol to try to calm Chinese fears of an attack. The book also reports Milley told others he needed to be included in any decision-making if former President Trump were to try to launch a nuclear weapon. The Pentagon says all the calls were done in the open and were not unusual.
Wait until we hear what General Milley and others have to say who were actually the principals involved here.
Many lawmakers say they want to hear from General Milley before they call for his resignation.
These are allegations in a book, and we have to verify, and if they're true, then General Milley is going to have to go.
But for some Republicans, the accusations of going around the former president are enough.
There were multiple members of the administration that thought they knew better than the president. That's a very dangerous thing.
On September 28th, General Milley is scheduled to appear at a hearing on Afghanistan. There, lawmakers have promised to question him on the book's reporting. In Washington, Lauren Blanchard, Fox 12 Oregon.
We're now seeing body camera footage of a woman who's been missing since going on a road trip with her fiancé. Police in Utah released this video showing their interaction with Gabby Petito last month in Moab. Officers stopped the couple after someone called 911 reporting that they were fighting. The two told officers that being on the road together was leading to arguments. And Gabby has now been reported missing. Her fiancé, Brian Landry, has been named a person of interest.
The family is devastated. Every day that this goes on, they get more and more desperate. They're at the point that desperation is turning to anger. They know that the Landrys know where their daughter is, and they will not tell them. That's infuriating.
Landry did return home to his parents without Gabby. She was last seen in Grand Teton National Park in Wyoming.
More local news is coming your way next. Helping parents keep track of COVID-19 cases inside schools. A look at Portland Public Schools' new dashboard and just how often people can expect updates to that information.
And feeling the impact of the pandemic, the message one family has after losing their mother to the virus.
To-date information. Perfect. Never mind.
Portland Public Schools has launched an interactive dashboard to track COVID-19 cases throughout the district.
So many people seeking information. This could be a key resource. Fox 12's Bridget Chavez joins us live with more information on this new tool. And Bridget, what exactly does the dashboard show?
Yeah, the dashboard shows how many students and how many adults are currently in isolation or in quarantine. It also breaks it up by school so that parents can closely monitor what's happening at their child's school. PPS says it's working closely with health experts and will follow Multnomah County Health's recommendation. The district says if guidance recommends that they suspend in-person learning, they're prepared to move students or classrooms into comprehensive distance learning. Dr. Seidlinger from the Oregon Health Authority today addressed some of these concerns when it comes to COVID-19 and determining school closures. Seidlinger says he's optimistic that they'll be able to keep students learning in person, but for most of the school year, there's multiple factors that go into determining if schools decide to move back to distance learning.
Schools oftentimes will make the difficult decision that there are enough students receiving that distance learning at home that they can't deliver two full sets of instruction, in person to some students and remote to others. And so they may move to remote learning for all. So multiple decisions go into a school making that decision.
Seidlinger says with plans in place, they can minimize disruptions to in-person learning, but the reality is they will not be able to completely eliminate them. And PPS says that it will update that dashboard 4 times per day so that parents, students, and teachers and families can all have the most up-to-date and accurate information. Reporting live from North Portland, Bridget Chavez, Fox 12 Oregon.